It is Friday, July 17th, and the market is back on fire with small caps. So let's take a look. All right, first one we go over is RMBL, Rumble on Incorporated. Let's take a look here. This was up 139% today. Rumble to present upcoming JP Morgan Auto Conference. Let's look further here. Let me see here. Online courses, Rumble investors, blah, 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 Auto Web and Rumble One, consumer gainers. All right, so they are development stage e-commerce platform, consumers and dealers, pre-owned Harley Davidson motorcycles, etc. And this is a float. I have 1.97 million on trade ideas. Again, this is why I see my chart here. I just go to the top 20 now. There's so many stocks every day. Even I could probably narrow it to maybe top 10. Keep it simple trading. Keep it simple. You don't need a million stocks to look at each day. I do maybe small caps. If the market's real strong, I do maybe some ETFs. If the market is bearish, I'll go to bearish ETFs and volatility, UVXY. So, I mean, you can take a look each morning. RMBL 5-minute chart. I'll start it again way pre-market. This is, actually this is, where are we at here? There you go, 4 a.m. This got over that 24 line, bounced all the way up to 28. Came all the way down here. Now this was tougher. I don't like charts like this. You have a lot of red candles that tried to break here. I don't like to buy the open unless it's looking like a very solid candle. It has to be a pattern now, like a specific pattern. This was tough to trade. To go in here, you probably like 20. If you give it a $1 line, it's way too small. You're gonna get eaten up. So this is really for me. I lower my size, maybe use $2. And this found support right at about 18.12. And then look how this grind it right here. Just grind it sideways. Look, very low volume. 20, maybe some people are like, oh, it's not doing nothing. That's why trading can be all day. Every day is different. Could be morning, could be evening. This was right over 20, and this took off. Look at the volume here. Once it started to break here, see this little F pattern? And you have the 22, and this way away from your 1320 EMA. This is a great long. Now it's a short. So this is, right here is very tough to trade pre-market. Maybe get a short here. Then it broke to 24. Then right here is another short. So right here is very tough. I wouldn't like to trade this action. It's not my type of like pattern, but once it starts to move here, and then you're seeing very small candles, very smooth lines. You have 20, and have your stop 18. If it goes down, you're out. Yeah, I'm using smaller size in this. There's no way with a $2 this could just rip through. So, and this was a great long here. Even if I do on this, I'd probably do like 200 shares, 20, and who knows where it's going to go. I'm just playing it. Can get out here, maybe 32, 34. Let's say you got out at like 32-ish. $12 gain. It's 2,400, only on 200 shares. You see, you don't need a lot of size. So, and the reason 200 shares for me is this goes down to 18, I'm down 200. If I do anything bigger, I don't want to be down 500, 1,000. That's why size is important. You don't need a lot of size. That's the main thing too. And this candle here, you could have got out. Although, see when you're very far away here, there's no sell here because it's so extremely far away. It has to do something here to prove it's going to go down. Like 13 EMA over 20 is very solid here. The 36 here, that's how you're watching. And this very big candle, and see where it touched here? You started to bend right here. So you could have gave it room here on the 5-minute. Excuse me. So this was another great long. Let me just see here on the float. The float is always wrong on these. On this, it says 1.97 million, 1.81 on Finbiz, so it seems about right. If you get this and I do Yahoo, Yahoo float, let's take a look. Let's see what they have the float here. They have 1.74. Okay, so it seems about right. So now on the daily chart in this was a very long-term downtrend. And then you had not really a wedge, but this is more of a channel. It did get a little bit tighter at the bottom. And then this moved up, got higher. And then over 1412 would have been a buy, but this gapped up so hard. I look at the volume, 37.4 million. And so this was a great long today. And on these, who knows, the next week, a lot of these fade. The maximum you'll get, any type, it'll be like a super maximum, supernova, you might get 5 days. That's extreme. 4, very extreme. 3, you see that sometimes. 1 to 2, it's very common. So, recapping this, very jumbled pre-market. Maybe you got long here at the open and faded, and then over 20. Then over 20 was a great buy right here, and just shot up. So you don't know right here. On this 20 move, you can get it a 10-minute. You take a look here. You can see here the 13 MA, it's like crossing. Even if you have a little bit late 22, you have great support here. And that's the thing too. People go about a 1320 EMA. So that's why I see it bounce off it right here. Bounce off 20 and the 1320 EMA. So that's good support. And on the 10-minute too, look at this. You have a high cross. That's even better. I use a 3 time frame too. I'll use a 3, 5, or then get 10, 15. I'll hold this here. Why is it so jumbled here? Down here, so you can see on here. So just using lower time frame though. I mean, lower size. People want big gains there. Oh, put in 1,000. Don't worry about that. Worry about making gains each day, making solid gains. So that's something on this 20. This is my today's open. You have 18. It's very close. You can see the wicks down here, very close to about 1833. Nothing is actually exact. Nothing's in the working stock trading to perfection. That's what you have to learn on that. So another great long today, a low floater. VRNA, this was another good one. This is VRNA Pharma PDR dealings, clinical stage. Raises 200 million in oversubscribed private placement subscription. So, and this had I had 8.5 million in float. Float here 5.85 that says on Yahoo. On Finbiz it says 5.82. Okay, so a little bit off on trade ideas. Now, it makes a difference actually get lower. Like if this is 1 million and trade idea says 8 million, that's a big difference. But if the float it says 40 and they say 35, that's less of a difference. The lower you go, the more important that is on that float. All right, so let's take a look at the 3-minute here. It started off very early too. This was like 7 a.m. and a big move up. Now, this is the only part I hate about the market trading. Look at this wick. This wick, if you're in here at 8 and this went down as low as 648, you're down huge already. Because this wick came flying down. They do that sometimes. A tail. They'll put in a tail and it'll screw people over. Sometimes it's a misprint. I don't think so. I think this is an actual tail today. So, that's the part of pre-market. Pre-market is less volume. You get weird moves like that. So, anyway, you go over here, draw your line right here, and this is a falling wedge. Draw the line right here. You go here, and then you go here, and that is a falling wedge pattern. Falling wedge pattern is a neutral pattern, bullish only, and it's usually 5 points. But on this, you can't really go 5 points because it's so tight down to the extreme, each side, back and forth. So But when you see this, this is a 3 minute, and you're going right here at 10 a.m. And what do you have? 850. So 850 is a good line. Your support is 8 right here. So you're playing 850, 8. Now, however you play that, your risk reward. On that, sometimes I'll do about 600 chairs. So if it hits 8, my loss will be 300. I'll do 400. And then if it hits 200, I still have that 100 to play with. I still could give it room at the pins. So that's how I look at it here. Then you go to the 5 minute. Nice move, 850. And see here, this is a nice move. Then from the triangle. This is a classic pullback, a little bit lower volume, draw your line. And then you had 1050, wick. Held, then it did this again. Look at the 20 EMA right at 13. Then it got up again, and then it shot down. Now see, on the 5 minute, it's a very solid 13/20. It bent sideways, and you wait. It bent sideways, it went through, but you don't panic here because it has to be a curve. And I back tested this, and it works for me. So again, look, the same move here. Now this, when you see this, getting out, you gotta get out, like 14 maybe, or you pick that up. And look at the length of the move again, like I said. It's gonna be your bottom of the screen, your top. This is run far. This is run from 6 all the way to like 15. And that's like pre-market to the day. So when you see these patterns over and over, you will recognize it over and over. Go to the 10 minute, move here, then 14 is the bend. Doesn't have to be exact. If you wait a little bit longer, that's fine. You're getting in down here, you're getting major profit anyway, so it's no big deal on that. And on RMBL today at 37.8 million volume, VRNA today 95 million volume, extremely liquid. So this was another chart that was great. Started pre-market, and then you had different moves here you could have got in. And on the move up, that's the thing, are you chasing? That is the key question. That is the tough question. Well, the move that starts here, a little bit move here, just move right off the open, that's 8. Sort of move to 10. Once you get over, well, really just start at 6. So if you're anything over a double, like 12, you're doubling the amount what it was. I would say that would be very cautious. It doesn't mean they could dump anytime. So, but on this in the 5 minute, this is a good pullback and bounce, pullback and bounce. And then right there you see the crossover. Now if you get a 10 crossover, you don't want to wait for the crossover. It's going to be late. You have to recognize the pattern. And then right here, look at this. The whole time this is, so that's why higher time frame. 13/20 the whole time. This whole time is not a sell. Don't let these candles scare you out. Because the most important thing, if you're playing longer time frame, 13/20 is the key here. Now, it's the harder part. When to take profit? When to take profit? That is the tough part. So if you have a smaller time frame, the lesser 5 minute time frame, and then like over 8, and maybe that's 12, that's still a $4 gain. You can take profit there. Never be hesitant to take profit. So on this though, if you're watching this and you want to hold longer, you have no crossover here. 13's not crossing the whole time. These candles are fake outs. They're a fake out until they're not. So go over here, see it bending here, and then you're at 13 right here. Then it starts to bend right here. And then once you start see that 13 break, you can start to see it go down. So it's tougher here, but you always want to take profits maybe along the way. Depends how you trade. But I'm trying to do that too. Excuse me. To go to a longer time frame. Hold longer. Don't be afraid of these inner candles unless you get some extreme breakdown. See all this held on the 15, on the 10 even. See, that's why that candle. Look at that wick. It bounced right back. That's what you have to recognize. Most like young traders, new traders, even experienced traders, sometimes they'll see that and they'll get stopped out. You know, stop out. I'm getting out. So that's the tougher part. But we have to get better as traders. We're always learning. All right, on to SALM. Let's take a look at this. All right, this had a float of 11 million, 11.1 million, and let's see what Yahoo had. And what was the news on this? What does this say? Seabridge Gold. Is this Seabridge Gold? Oh, no, this is the wrong chart. Sorry. SALM. Oh, here it is. So, Salem host, President Trump, Larry Elder, blah, 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 blah. Let's see, news. 11.1 million, it says in trade ideas. Salem Media Group. This is a media group. Spikes on new interest. So it's probably trying to sell the company. Float here. Yeah, 12.1 million. Okay, so that's pretty solid here. All right, so let's go to the 3 minute. Let's take a look at the 3 minute here. This didn't have much pre-market. What you see down here, though, is 110, 120 line. So every chart is different. $1 could be $50, could be $20. So the 110 line and the 120 line, I'm not playing it closer. If you play that, it's such a small line. You'll be stopped out. It's impossible. Even a quarter line, that's a huge line. You could just lower your size. And then this is a 10-cent line. So here, right here in that first candle, so where are you at now? You're 114. That's in between both. So what do? You play low or high. On in between, it's very tough to call. Sometimes it depends on the chart. I'll go high, I'll go low. On this, if you want low, get a great entry. Now, if you move to the 5 minute, that's why on the entries too, I use 3, 5, 10. I like to use the 5 most of the time, but again, it depends on the chart. This moved way up in this big candle, and then this is lower. So this is closer to 120 to 130. So right here you have just below 118. So on this, you would have a great fill, and then it took off. And this is a 5 minute big open candle. So you're closer to 120 to 130 on the 5 minute. On the 10 minute, let's see here, 10 minute, this would have engulfed this whole 140 and came all the way back, so closer to 130. On the 3 minute, where am I at here? Oops, there we go. 3 minutes, see, you're in between. So 10 minute would have made you put in a higher buy. The 5 minutes going to put you in between, and the 3 minutes going to be even tougher. So that is the question. What do you use to get in? Now on this is right off the bell too. This is extremely tough. That's why I probably wouldn't do 3 minute off the bell. On the opening bell, I never like to trade. So probably would go here to the 5 minute on this chart, because this is no real pre-market either. See, there's nothing here. So I want to give it more of time to see what it does. That candle, that's a big candle. Then you have this room here. So all right, so this took off over to 160. Not bad here. Started to bend here, and then pretty much held that support 144. You get it at 10 minute, went up, came all the way down, a huge bounce here. You don't know the bounces. This was very low volume here. Consolidated, it could just dump, and it broke out. So you never know what stops here. So that was a nice move too. The daily chart showing great volume here. Now VRNA too. This is another C gap and go. Gap and go. That's what we call that. Big volume. All right, auto. Didn't really like this chart. This puts in weird volume. Big burst and then nothing. Now on the daily chart, this is in a wedge or channel up. This is the best volume it's done in a while, 4.7 million. But I don't like charts like this because the volume just dives off like nothing. Now, it's not really nothing here. You got like 23,000. That's a lot. But still, that's not that much. And you don't see these candles doing it. So, OCN, pretty much a channel, way too choppy. VCNX wasn't bad pre-market over 650. And then it came back. And where's your support? Your 750. That bounced again. And then eventually dumped at the open. So, it was a pre-market trade. ALNA, this was over 185. This is an ascending triangle. Ascending triangle, you always buy to the right. So if you draw your line here, I'll put it right at 185. It went over a little bit, but see here, it's bouncing. And then you want this to go up, and you're gonna, draw your line. The 13A is a line, so you want it closer to the 13A. Is it closer to here or here? Here. So you're gonna buy to the right here. Now after this gets through, and you're watch this bounce around, and then let me get in there. And on this, it's the breakout. You can buy the dip down here. You recognize the pattern. So this was a good long. Then it really faded up at 225 and came back. STG, not really enough volume here. CKPT, this wasn't bad at the open. Kind of messy pre-market, a lot of huge moves. Settled in. You really don't see this at the end. You'll see a major spike. Little in the 5 minutes over 210 that really spiked to like 250. ALJJ, not really much, but it did move long. TNXP, penny stock, over 68. Then really moved to 86 cents. Not bad here for penny stock. Looking here, this was in a channel. This is weird moves. Look at this. I really don't like to trade this. Make it $1 though. DMPI over 75. Then you had to move over 80. And a bad little move, 15 cents. If you're playing bigger size too. RST, Rosetta Stone. I think this was news about selling the company. Moves like this too, like this doesn't really do this. You see this pretty much even that broke out 2.6 million today. Look at this move over 1650 and consolidate it back to 1750, then a 19, and then held this 1850 and broke out again. So you had a buy down here on this little dip, red to green, and then here again. Look at all these candles. Red, and then it held. You watch it hold. You can play this different ways. You can draw your line right here. If it gets over, 1850, and then you can draw your line above. That's the high of the day. At the moment where you're at. That it was. So you have a high of the day right there. You can get in. There's your support. Same thing with this. So you have 1777 that bounced up. So that's really nice. This list is my top 20. If you count it down, that's 20. I used to have my list all the way down here. I keep spy in here. There's too many stocks to look at. When you're trading, most people are trading, if they're real good, I guess they're trading maybe 5, 10 stocks. That's a lot of stocks. So you probably want to do 5 at most. I would say, 2 to 3 solid. HTBX, very choppy here. A lot of back and forth. This was not bad. AHT just bounced right here on this candle, 575. When you see an open red candle like this, that usually means a long's going to happen next, because I've seen this so many times in my daily patterns. So this bounced at 6, got to 625, all the way up to 8, and really took off. A lot of these patterns are like going. They took off late, took off midday. VBIV, another one. This was right over at 525. 625, a late day move. See, the main thing in stock trading each day is, the pre-market, your other moves, less volume. The open, I would say 9:30, 10:30, maybe 11, your most explosive moves. And then after like 11:30, 12 to 2 is usually lunch. And then after 2 to 4 is your second power hour, the last half of the day. TTI, not much to them. PDSB. This was kind of hard to trade, but it sort of channeled here, bounced back 290, 280, and it bounced to 330. It's not a bad little gainer. So there's your top moves again. So we had different type of moves today. Some media, some auto, online, low floats. You had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Top 10, you got a lot of low floats under 10 million. So low floats are working. Looking at my trade ideas, the big list, a lot of stocks under $10. I'm going 5, 1, 1, 3, a lot are moving. So I'll move back to small caps. The stock market. Let's take a look at the SPY. The SPY was down +9, Dow Jones -62, NASDAQ +29, small caps +7. The VIX fell again, 2568 -232. That's been back and forth. Commodities 11, gold 1811, silver 1974, crude 4059, holding in that area. So here's the SPY again. Now we're trying to get over this 323.22. Look at this, bouncing around now. Very high up stochastics. Can't get much higher, so which is good and bad. You can be oversold like this for a long time. Then you can also make a move down. So the coronavirus cases are spiking. We're at like 70,000 a day. It's been a nightmare. They're trying to open things up, and Texas said they're not closing things back down again. So it's kind of crazy to be up here. So we'll see what the next direction is. NASDAQ. NASDAQ in here, this is bouncing back and forth too, sort of holding this 13 EMA. Dow Jones. This is another one, trying to get back up here. Then we're like drifting here. It's sort of crossed over this very extreme move here on stochastics. This could come back to 26, maybe even 26, 140. We'll see on that. VIX. The VIX is broke down. See this? This was in this nice little channel, 25. It hasn't really done that since this candle here, which is like 25. We'll see what happens with that. UVXY. This was in like a wedge. It did break out, then it fell back down. So volatility came back down again. The SDAL is bearish ETF. Let's take a look at the 5-minute. Yeah, this is very tough to trade. Very choppy moves there. TZA. Just another one, a big wick down. And came back up, and then it showed a little bit of gain here on the bounce. Tougher moves, like jagged moves today. A lot of jagged moves. Indecision market. FAS, the same thing. UDAO. This is long the market. So they had to move up, and it's like hovering here. So this didn't really break out. SPXL's SPY. Candle. This is holding very high. Not a bad bounce. We're waiting for, you can play the bounces, the dips, like the mountain and ridges I call it. This is like a big cliff, and then we bounce. So that was a nice play. PQPQ. This wasn't bad too. You gotta draw your line here though on this. So this was, couldn't get over it. Then once you see this line here, and it finally started to break over like 110. Tougher trade though, very much tougher trade. TNA. There's TNA. This had a great bounce at 28.60 all the way to 29.70. So that wasn't bad. FAS, tougher trade there. Soxel, choppy, LABU. This wasn't bad long. This was over like 66.50, put a huge gain. And this has been on fire because this is a biotech with all the coronavirus. This has been on fire since 15. What else we have here? Nougat, JNUG. And let's put the daily in there. So I said this might flag here. I had a line here, and it broke out. This is continually high here. As long as you're over this 13 and 20, we look good here. This is a really nice long. And JNUG, probably the same pattern. Yeah, pretty much over 128. Look at that. JNUG very strong there on the daily. And then we went up here. So they're trending up still, very strong, very strong. DFN, let's look at this. And what do you see here? We're hugging in between at 1320 EMA. Let's get down so we can get over that level there. It's choppy right now, intraday. So this is a move. This is move 10 when as high as 1238. We'll see what that does. DIM sort of broke out sideways, lower volume, not doing much there. Nail continues to go higher, so that was a pretty solid move. We still have this open gap to near 40, so that is big. ERX, this is Energy Bulls. This got taken apart today. Energy Bears. This was a nice place. I love plays like this. It's hard to catch them every day. Like a solid, clean setup. This is, man, you're watching it. Big red candle. Then another one. Draw your line here. Give it a 25 cent each line. Run up, up. And you're watching. You can actually go back to the 50 cent line here. So once you have red to green, you start to go up. You can give this one time. Play that 49.50, that line, because it's trying to give, that's the next line besides your 25 line. See here, 25. So if you're playing the 25 line here, look at this. This is taking up. This took up like almost 50 cent line. So that's why I would go to 50 cent. When you see this take up massive room here, you can play 49.50, then it took off all the way up here. So you're playing 49.50, 1,800 shares, 800 times 50, maybe down 400 if it goes down here, but you probably have to let it stop out in between here. Depends where you're at. So 800, 49.50 is like 51.50, $2 gain. It's 1,600. That's why you lower your size a little bit. This is a huge move. This will chop up that quarter line like that. It's going right through it. So you have to recognize each line, what the candles are. If these are very large candles, it's going to be hard doing a quarter line. You got to move to a 50 cent line. So that's how you play that. What else is here? A CO. This wasn't bad. 1670 broke up. These aren't great moves. You're getting almost $1 though. That's not bad, $1 a move. So that's very good to look at there. All right, so again, small caps have been on fire. I mean, not like tremendous moves. You're getting gainers that are getting over 50% movers. Top gainers gave you nice to the long side, nice to the short side. So some oil, like oil, energy plays were not bad. JNUG and Nougat have been strong. The other bearish ETFs, like the regular Dow, TQQ, all them, they're back and forth because the market's, it's very high up right now. And you're not getting tremendous gains like the SPY. Look at the SPY here. You know, when you have moves like this and the gap, and you get bigger candles, now we're like very small candles, very tight. And then you look at the volume here, the volume's really dropping off. So wait for the next move. There's going to be stimulus. What's the next move in the market? So we're hovering here. We're going to go to the upside still. We don't know here. We do come back, probably come back maybe to like 314 at this point. If there's really bad news, we can come back to 300. So let's see on that. What are some of the cyclicals, like restaurants, Den? Still hovering here. This Steakhouse, Bruce Hospitality. This is sideways, waiting for its next move. It did break out here, though, so it's a good time. JetBlue. It's rode to the outside now. It's holding this 13 minutes. It's going to go back in and test and bounce. It's hard to say. It might bounce on Monday. So ALK, same thing, same patterns here. They're breaking out, but they're trying to come back in. But see, they came back in a lower volume, so that's a better sign there. HA, same thing, coming back in. All right, the cruise ships, I think they said they can't go till October now, so that's a bad sign because we're trying to break and it keeps falling back. NCLH, look at this, look at that fake breakout. Ugh, that's why these are tough to trade right now. You need like positive news, and you're really not getting it here. So there's the 16 line. Bouncing. We'll see if that holds on that. RCL just had to break out to a fake breakout, came back. Look at these choppy candles, like red, green, red. You can't get an edge on that. If you're swinging, it's very hard. CCL is another one coming back. So these are very tough. Casinos win. You had like the double bottom here broke out, came back a little bit. We'll see, this might fall to 80 and come back up. Still showing signs that it's looking very bullish though. Las Vegas Sands. This is a longer term trend line right here. We'll see if this comes back in and it breaks out eventually. This has moved stochastics all the way from 43 to like 50. So that's been a $7 move. We're up here again. You want to come back in. The REITs. These are holding above that 1320 EMA on that. They're getting high up too though. So they could be pulling back. Nothing to do in IVR Hall. Halls is pretty much flat. All right, so all these, like the cyclicals, very tough. They're going back and forth. Depends when you catch them. They're more of day trades now. The swing, it's very tough at this point. Like here's Oxy to oils. Just made that move in June. Now it's drifting down. Just nothing going on with it. So let me see crude. Let me look at crude overall. Do I have crude on here? Like sweet. Crude oil. Crude oil. What the hell's crude oil? I can't find it. But anyway, so that's it for today. Friday. Monday, there'll be probably more movers, more volatility in the market. So that is it. Please subscribe and like the channel, and we are out for now. Peace.